All right, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're going to talk about Manny Pacquiao and what Keith Thurman had to say after observing him work the pads, and also a major problem for Manny Pacquiao that he has to overcome in the Errol Spence Jr. fight. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. Before I get into the meat of the conversation, please make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Also, make sure to hit the like button and share the video. It goes a long way towards helping grow the channel, and it is greatly appreciated by myself. So Keith Thurman is giving his thoughts on Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. As you should know, Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. are going to be fighting for Errol Spence Jr.'s WBC and IBF welterweight championships. This is going to be a pay-per-view fight that I do believe is being held in Las Vegas, and it is about this. It's the second biggest fight remaining this year, or will be the second biggest fight of this year, and behind the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury trilogy fight. But this is a fight that a lot of people are excited to see, and wondering who's going to win it. Is it going to be because both of these guys both have issues. One guy, Errol Spence Jr., was in a really bad car accident maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now, and he wound up not looking as good as he looked in the past when he beat Danny Garcia. But there's a lot of people that are wondering whether or not he's all the way back to being himself. And then of course you've got Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao is 42 years old, going on 43 years old. So just like anybody, age affects everybody. And 42 years old, that is not 32, that is not 22. And in fact, Manny Pacquiao's professional career is somewhere like around his 26 years as a professional fighter. I think he turned pro in 1995. This is 2021. Last time I checked, that's 26 years as a professional fighter, and he's lost I think maybe 4 out of his last 11 fights he's lost. So people are wondering, whether or not Manny Pacquiao is going to be all the way back. So in this particular instance, Keith Thurman is a former unified champion at 147. He held both the WBC and the WBA welterweight titles, and he lost to Manny Pacquiao in his last fight, which was 2 years ago. So not only is Manny Pacquiao an older fighter, Manny Pacquiao is also coming off an extended layoff, a 2-year extended layoff. And what Keith Thurman is saying is that it looks like Manny Pacquiao is slowing down. He said that he saw him work on the mitts, and he's like, nah, that's not the same speed that we're used to seeing from Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is looking like he's dragging a little bit. And if you drag a little bit on the mitts, or if you're dragging a little bit in sparring, I don't know how you're going to expect to magically pick up speed in the fight. And if that is the case, where Manny Pacquiao is slow to pull the trigger, and his hand speed specifically isn't where it used to be, that is a big problem for Manny Pacquiao, because he's given away a lot of size to Errol Spence Jr. And as Manny Pacquiao will say, the way that you beat a bigger guy is you beat the guy with speed. And I think that maybe one of the reasons why Manny Pacquiao took the Errol Spence Jr. fight was the reason that I mentioned before, that Errol Spence Jr. might have looked a little bit slower against Danny Garcia. He definitely didn't look blazing fast. He was standing behind a jab, and really staying behind his jab, didn't really get into too many exchanges. So maybe he's feeling like Errol Spence Jr.'s speed might be a little bit compromised. But if he gauges that wrong, and Manny Pacquiao's speed is not up to snuff, man, that is that's a recipe for getting hit a lot with Errol Spence Jr. Because Errol Spence Jr. is somebody that is on you like a metronome. He's he's cutting off the ring. He's always within striking distance. He's very, very good at slipping punches and countering punches. His body work is very, very precise. And if Manny Pacquiao's speed isn't there, that could be a big problem for Manny Pacquiao. But I think personally that the biggest problem for Manny Pacquiao, especially if if it's related to speed, is the fact that this is also going to be a southpaw on southpaw matchup, and essentially making it an orthodox fight, because Manny Pacquiao, I don't believe he hasn't fought a southpaw in 13 years. That's against David Diaz, and really this is his first fight with a top prime fighter in the last 6 years. Because Keith Thurman was also coming off of it. He had one fight that he had with Josecito Lopez, which he didn't really look particularly good in, and some people thought that he was the Riverside Rocky. What is it, Josecito Lopez? That Josecito Lopez was pressing the action and taking it to Keith Thurman for the second half of the fight, and Manny Pacquiao fought him off of that. So that is going to be, if his speed is diminished, and age will diminish your speed. It may not diminish your power, because my understanding is that you keep your power. That you really don't lose how hard you can hit, but you can definitely lose how quick your reactions are. And then having Keith Thurman say it, that's an educated eye looking at it. Like where I would look at it and I say, okay, yeah, he's hitting the pad, his hands are looking fast. That's not I don't have the same eye that a professional boxer has. And when you are talking about, speed at that level, just the littlest bit can throw you off. There's not, the difference between top fighters or top athletes are nanoseconds, like in a 100-meter dash between Usain Bolt and the second guy, it might only be a tenth of a second, but that tenth of a second looks like a good amount of distance when, there's a huge difference between somebody running a 9.9 and somebody running a 9.7, right? You're going to see yourself get blown out if that's the case. So what I see is that Manny Pacquiao most definitely has to get old, and it's a little bit of a battle in this fight between, what is the case going to be? Is it going to be Errol Spence Jr., who may not be all the way back, or is it Manny Pacquiao, who may not be all the way there anymore? I think more than likely it's going to be Errol Spence Jr., because and I'm going to say this in another video, Errol Spence Jr. Can heal from that car accident. He can heal, his body can recover, but you don't heal from old age. Manny Pacquiao, I'm sure, is taking care of his body and really done the things necessary to keep himself in tremendous shape, to be ripped, to be, have his body be on weight. But that's a far thing from saying that you're 18 years old, you're 22 years old, 26 years old, and you still have your body running at 100%. So that my take on it is that Keith Thurman saying that Manny Pacquiao's looking slow is something that that's almost inevitable. But we'll see how it affects him in the fight. I'm looking forward to the fight. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.